Everybody, this is CA Purva Mittal. I'm the founder of eJob Ocean. We are into recruitment. Today, we have a very eminent speaker with us, CA Ashutosh Thaker. Sir is the founder member of NMAH. NMAH is one of the well-known CA firms. They are majorly into indirect tax domain. Sir has a career span of 29 years. He has with Haribhakti, BDO, and lot of CA firms. And apart from that, he is active in ICAI and other organizations. So over to you. Let's start.
Thank you, Purva. And first of all, I appreciate your initiative. In today's time, it is very important to carry out such kind of seminars or programs where a practical experience of people who have gone through something is shared with growing people who want to see different perspective. So my today's presentation, based on what you have said, that upscaling a career in indirect tax, is more about somebody who is looking at new initiatives, looking at to expand their career, expand their skills. So let me start my presentation. And as I have in front of everybody, I would like to again say Happy Teachers Day to Anil Sharma ji. Sir is here running a coaching class. So friends, today's agenda is divided into 5 parts. One is key takeaways. I will go into depth. What are these 4? The agenda are the same key takeaways which I want to share with all the participants over here. Let me go into each one of them. The whole objective of at the end of the session, you should be able to take some key action points at your end, think that, okay, this is something on which I need to deliberate more. This is on which I want to put my SWOT analysis. And based on my SWOT analysis, I will put all my energies into the strength which I have. Because in my early career, 28 years before, in Haribhakti and company, we had appointed a very young, dynamic HR manager. And he shared with us a story of a family where 2 children were there. One was good in maths, one was good in Hindi. They were scoring top marks in maths, and the other was scoring top marks in Hindi. So parents were worried that, they are scoring good mark in this subject, but what about others? And the parents appointed teachers to coach them other subjects. But in the next result, what happened was their top scoring subject came down, but the weak subject did not move up to the mark what they were expecting. So the key lesson in career or in life is, God has made everybody, or one has inclined or created some traits which is good for them. They should recognize their strengths and build a complementary team around them to manage weaknesses. Because you should not waste time, you should not get depressed, you should not get too much of thinking on the negative side or a weakness side. You should always focus on your own strength and move ahead in life. So understanding career path, I'm going to share something on that lines. Understanding indirect tax space in India. Everybody has been observing GST has come down in 2017. The global turmoil is going on right now. There is a reset button being set. How reforms happened in 2009, how reforms happened in 1990. And now again, 2025 is going to be a reset mode for India, where the government or the South Asian economies are going to reset how in this economic turmoil, what new reset buttons come up. So understanding the indirect tax space in this context is very important. Another is technology coming into the space. So in indirect tax space, technology is now also a partner. So young chartered accountants who are building their career for next 30 years, adopting technology will be a part of their life. Understanding the supply chain mechanism and flow of tax, because indirect tax is something which needs to be paid by a consumer. One needs to invest his own time in understanding the supply chain. Whether you are a consultant or whether you are working in any industry, it's very important that you understand the supply chain. And then you can expertise any part of the supply chain. And the last is the tech-enabled opportunities and challenges. So while technology will come in, it will give opportunities, it will offer challenges also. So we will have to keep on learning both sides during our career, that how we go about taking the benefit of the opportunities, and if any challenges are there, how we overcome. So let me go to the first subject of understanding the career path. Now, one of my friends asked that how to build a good CA firm practice in Tier 2 Tier. So friends, in life, there are three components. Once you have completed your education, after completing your education, your parents have invested money in you, or you have worked hard yourself to earn that money and pay your fees. You have obtained a certificate to enter a either own self-employed professional career or in an industry. That certificate only gives you an entry point. It does not give you any right. But then your journey starts of practical application of your knowledge, what you have gained during your schooling, during your college, during your professional, post-professional education, what you have gained. Now, this is an application time, because what you have learned in 20 years, 22 years, that you are going to now apply for another 20, 22 years. So you have to map your career path with three key things. One is competency, one is context, and one is capital. What do I mean by competency? You have got an educational qualification, you know your strengths, but now that needs to be applied. It needs to be applied practically and giving value to your customer, whether your customer is your organization, whether your customer is your team leader, whether your customer is your close team member, or whether your customer is a junior team member. Your competency skill set should be able to add value to somebody else who needs it. You may have a best competency, but if you are not able to apply it, if you are not able to translate into value to somebody, that competency is of no use. So you have to learn that. And while over a period of time, while you are applying your competency, you have to build your connects. You have to network, you have to contact. Because these are the connects who are your goodwill partners in the market, who will talk about you. Who will talk about that if you have a problem, did you approach this person? So your interpersonal skill is very important. And friends, when you start your career, we all started 30 years back when our parents struggled to come from a small town or village to a city and set up their base. We have seen how they have economically grown. Then we also worked on the same line, but our today's children don't have that problem of creating first house or a first car. So my friends, I would always suggest, conserve your capital from the very day one when you start earning. Conserve your capital, because over a period of time, this capital is going to help you to do something on your own or something to translate to the intergenerational wealth. India is going to grow for next 2, 3, 4, 5 decades. It is going to have an exponential growth. The way the world is looking at us and the way Narendra Modi government, I am not promoting any government, but the way today's government is promoting manufacturing and large scale manufacturing, which is going to come into India, is going to do that. So having competency, building contacts, and creating your own capital is going to help you in your career. Now let's understand the career path. What is a career path for an individual? First of all, once you, whatever knowledge you are applying, you should be able to execute that well. So you have to learn from a good team leader, good teacher, or a good boss the execution management skill, because how to execute a particular task. You are going to work on your own, you are going to apply your mind, you are going to take a lot of team members' feedback, and then you are going to apply it. So initial your formative years are going to go into building technical competency, the execution capability. Once you have learned the art of execution, how to execute a task, you should learn the art of managerial competency, that how do I manage multiple things. When you learn the art of managerial competency, you are able to teach to your juniors, you are able to coordinate, communicate to your bosses, seniors, that what you have executed. And what you were good at, you have to teach it to somebody else. Because if you want to do something else, whatever you were doing, you have to teach it to somebody. If we think that if I teach this guy and if he runs away, what will happen? Nothing will happen. You will grow. Somebody else will come. If you have learned the art of teaching to somebody how to do a task, you are good at it. So second step in your life is technical competency plus managerial competency. You have to learn the art of managing things. After spending time in execution, managing teams, now you have to learn the management of client, your customer. So first of all, why is a customer coming to you? He will always say, what's in it for me? What are you going to do for me? Then I will pay you money. So you have to learn the art of understanding the pain problem of the clients. Suppose if you go to a doctor, and when you talk to a doctor, you will say, I've got an headache, I've got a fever, I've got cough and cold, or my body is paining. You are complaining, you are telling symptoms. You are not telling what is the problem, why did this happen. So when you talk to a client will never tell you what is the problem, why the thing has happened. He will say, this is my problem, but that is actually a symptom. So when he says symptom, you have to understand why this would have happened. Your capability to understand that why this problem would have arisen. And when you say that probably this is the reason which I can address, help you, the client will trust you. And this is the art which you have to develop in your career, to understand the other people's pain problem, your ability to solve that, and your ability to communicate to that person that I have a competency to solve your pains. Now, when you learn the execution art, you are able to teach to your team, create a larger team. So you are able to do more work. You are able to communicate with the client. Now then you have to learn the art of business management. Now you are overall in charge of technical capability, managerial capability, interpersonal skills. And now you have to learn the business acumen, that what should be my pricing? How should I negotiate? How should I propose? How should I communicate that this is the value I am going to add there? And you have to ultimately make a profitable business, profitable practice, because that profit is going to help you to reinvest money into your business. So friends, this is the span of a career which you keep on innovating, adding up something in your life, adding up new skills, and grow in your life. Let's look into the indirect tax space in India. Now, this is just a very basic definition when you put it in indirect tax. It's a most common sense. Whenever I talk to my children, my younger son is studying in economics. So he said, sir, in economics, you have to remember the very simple basic fundamental. People, when you do very higher studies, you forget the basic simple fundamentals. You should always go back to the basic. That what was the basic? Like in accounting, you always go back to the 3 golden rules. Whenever you start doing accounting, debit, credit, you have been taught by 3 golden rules. That what are the 3 golden rules? But when we are completing our CA final, most of us we have forgotten our 3 golden rules. We should not. Any subject is always basic. It's a simple. Your education has to help you to be very simple. So in indirect tax, we all know there is a direct tax and there is an indirect tax. Direct tax is on your income, but indirect tax, you are not paying on your income. So where are you paying? You are paying on whatever you are consuming. So this fundamental concept of indirect tax is a very simple definition that indirect tax has to be paid by a consumer, whether it is a goods or whether it is a service. You should not never forget this basic fundamental that indirect tax has to be paid by a final consumer. Now, in today's phase, what I would like to emphasize is what I have kept little bit of portion is about foreign trade and custom advisory, something which is not done, not seen, or not heard of regularly. If you go to corporates, if you go to industries, foreign trade customs are part of there when they are involved in import and exports. Then we talk about goods and services tax. There are a lot of compliances. There are a lot of state level small taxes which I have not gone into it. We are harping on two major areas from a carrier perspective: is foreign trade policy, customs, and goods and services tax. So let's look into foreign trade policy. Why I am emphasizing on foreign trade policy, or why I am emphasizing on customs? So if somebody is reading to Economic Times on daily basis, you will see our Minister Piyush Goyal talking about talks with USSR on talks with UK FTA, foreign trade agreement has been signed off. With you, we are aggressively talking. So what is happening is the Indian goods, we have a huge consumer base, but still we have to import oil, we have to import something where we have to pay foreign exchange. And for that, if our country exports, then only it earns foreign exchange. So this is all about import export, all about businesses going to do import export. So in foreign trade policy, which I see personally in next 10 years, India is going to become a very huge manufacturing base. There are already a lot of companies. Electronics is the biggest segment which is being focused at. A semiconductor industry, the chips which are going to be heart of the electronics. You know, the basic car today, if you see any automatic car, it is controlled by a chip. We may feel that we are changing the gear, or we are fueling up our car, but nothing is happening manually. In the whole car, there is a chip which is controlling the every parts of the car. So tomorrow, in any part of our life, today we were importing a lot of things. Electronics were coming from outside India, and all this is managed electronics. So India is going to be focusing on huge chip manufacturing, huge electronic market, and we have a huge consumer base. And outside world is not able to produce that. Once we become in quality and efficiency, the outside world is going to ask for it. So indirect tax and GST on import exports. So friends, GST compliance for exports, SEZ units, EOU, refunds of the tax on input tax credit, because when your output is exempted, your inputs, you have to get a refund of all the duty. So there are going to be multiple huge entities coming up and doing manufacturing. You have a big opportunity of working with those industries, helping them out. These are all complex areas. The transactions are not simple today. You have multiple areas. Once I see show you a supply chain flow, you will understand that how things flow. International trade compliance and documentation. Whenever you are dealing with international counterpart, we are validating. You need lot of documentation, lot of contractual arrangements, lot of finance, or lot of logistic companies to be negotiated with. And this is where we all chartered accountants, or we all professionals, I would say, who understands the numbers, who understand the transaction, can play a very good role, very key role. Corporate and transaction advisory. Now, when we are becoming global, when our companies are becoming large, there would be opportunities for transaction structuring, buying off, hiving off, cutting down one unit and selling it off somebody. Huge opportunities in this. Now, obviously, when you do business, government and regulator are going to ask you that have you complied with the rules and regulation? Kindly submit all your documents. Now, new terminology which is coming up is regulatory tech, reg tech. People are trying to automate Regulated, because government has understood. I can't keep on changing my laws, I rules again and again. I have to determine my framework, what is it that I want, and keep that stable. So when something becomes output becomes stable, a technology can be used, because technology is used for doing repetitive work without human intervention. So regulatory tech, reg tech is becoming a big area in India. That opportunity can be evaluated. Opportunity to work with DGFT, customs, export promotion council, industry bodies, policy advocacy. If you learn how policies are drafted, you can contribute on behalf of your client representations. Now again, any business, no business works without money. Cash flow is the bloodline of the business. So trade, finance, and banking. When you get involved with your client in understanding all his transactions, you know where can the funding, whether funding can come by equity, whether funding by debt, or whether funding can, you can help your client to go and negotiate with a private financer, ultra HNI, family office, banks. Lot of avenues are opening. If you see in India earlier, there were only 200-300 family offices. In last 2-3 years, even a CEO has become $1 billion by with the ESOPs and public IPO. CEO, CFO, CXOs have become billionaires. They have become millionaires. Now their asset needs to be managed. They need to invest that money. They can't keep that money in a 3.5% saving bank account, or they can't keep a money in 6.5% FD. They have tasted the blood. They have seen that if money is invested in business, I can multiply my money. My generational wealth can be created. So trade, finance, and banking will not be a plain vanilla only banking relationship, but your network contacts among the family offices, PE, venture funds, seed capital fund, people who provide capital for business to grow. Okay, Big Four, I would say Big Four, because they are very large organization. They employ a lot of people, consulting firms. Obviously, they are going to work with their large global clients as well as Indian global clients in all this area. Huge opportunities to evaluate. Corporate sectors now, because all these companies are going to come up, everybody will need people. Tech, if tech is there, somebody needs to review the tech. Somebody needs to look into the tech, what tech is doing. Tech is not going to do everything. Tech is only going to capture a process flow and do work on your behalf. But tech is not going to do out. You will have to apply your mind and tell the tech what to do. Correct? Now, this is just a slide of the curve to see from 2017 how GST collection is happened. What could be the reason? Reason could be the economy has grown, the income level of people have grown. But I would say the biggest change is unorganized market are becoming organized. What I mean by unorganized market is wherever there were intermediaries, wherever there were cash dealings, wherever something was out of the financial system is now becoming part of the financial system. The transaction is now getting reflected everywhere. So in the whole chain, when I will show you the supply chain, anybody can be out of that chain doing in cash. So the cash portions become smaller, unorganized, and the transaction in the government system starts becoming larger, and that reflects this flow. Now, what you are seeing today, probably after 5 years, you will come back with a different graph that, oh, what kind of economy we have got here. We are 4 trillion economy, and by 2030, they are targeting it to become 13 trillion economy. So three times of what we are doing. So little bit of sharing, when Purva will share these slides with all of you. I have gone into the detail about core knowledge and technicals. So when I started my career in indirect tax, setting up the practice for Haribhakti and company and for BDO across India, I had an opportunity to meet SS Gupta. And I said, sir, what is the key thing in indirect tax? What is it that you need to be knowing something when you start your indirect tax practice? So he said one word 3 times. Update, update, update. So I said, sir, I did not understand update. So he said, Ashutosh, whenever you read a law and when this law is applied in the businesses do different transactions. And then there is a fight between government and the businessman that this is the interpretation of the law, this is the text. And then they go and represent to the judiciary, appeal, tribunal, high court, Supreme Court, and they give a judgment. What does this mean? So when we have read the law and the law is applied, if there is a dispute, there is a judiciary system which decides. So we have to keep on updating every day on the everyday new judgments which are coming. That what is the interpretation of this judgment on this particular section and for this particular transaction. If you don't update yourself in indirect tax, what happens is your clients are doing business. They are very aggressive. They are trying to do new transaction. And if you are not able to recollect that there was a judgment which is negative to my client and client is not aware of that, you may end up paying huge tax liability, interest, penalties. So you should be aware that how a law has evolved, how a law is applied, and if there is a dispute in that law, in that sector or transaction, how you should be able to know it. So update. Friends, so core knowledge and technical skills, understanding the law, knowledge of indirect tax framework, familiarity with rules, notification, registration, returns, ITC, all these things you should know it, learn how to apply it, and keep on doing it till the time you become expert. And now all these things are being done by tools, technology, we will see later on. But you should be aware why, how this is happening, and then only you will be able to know how technology is doing it. Because if you say, like today in many interviews, my partner says that we ask, do you know reconciliation? So they say, yeah, we know it is F5. So in Tele, F5 does have reconciliation, but that is not reconciliation. You should exactly know what does reconciliation mean. Why two numbers have to be reconciled. Analytical research skill, interpretation of tax laws, legal research, impact assessment, reconciliation of books with the returns. You should, once you know the background, what comes in front of you, the numbers, you will be able to understand the story behind the numbers. If you just see the numbers, you will not know what these numbers reflect. We all accountants or chartered accountants or professionals in accounting, we understand numbers so well. Because why? Because once we see the numbers, we are able to understand the transaction behind them. If you give to anybody else, he will say, this is just a number. But we all are trained to see a number and say what has gone behind this number. Now, technology tools. Government is so advanced. Government has invested so much heavily in technology, and they are continuously investing in technology. What earlier the government did not know, now the government knows more than what businesses know. When we sit with government officers, they are able to show us in their system, laptop, from the first registration to all the transaction till date what a business has done. A businessman may look at 1 year data or 2 years data, but government has a system which shows them the whole life. Today we can't say that, oh, government does not know what I am doing. With technology, they are capturing every transaction, everything that we are doing, and we should be fully aware that government is aware whatever through banking system or through whatever transaction system, whatever returns we have filed, they are aware of the whole transaction. So friend, technology and tool has to become your friends. You have to upskill yourself. You have to get to know or have team members amongst you who understands technology and is very keen to work in the technology space. Professional and soft skills, I can't say very less about this. It's very important to upgrade yourself continuously on professional and soft skills, because you see always a cake is there, but above a cake there is a cream layer. When we eat that cake, we feel the cake is so soft. It is the first portion of the cake which goes into your mouth that is soft, but after that there is a hard part. So as a professional, whatever you are dealing with anybody, your interpersonal skills cannot be substandard. It has to be up to the mark. You have to invest in yourself. I always tell my team member, we have 100 people in my team member. I ask them, who paid your fees? They say parents. Out of 100, only one or two say that I am doing job and paying my own fees. Parents have been investing in you so heavily, paying all your fees. When you start earning, how much do you invest in yourself? How much of your income do you spend to learn new art, new skill, anything new which will help you to grow in your life? So now is the time for next 20, 30 years. You have to keep on investing in yourself. And where you invest is all these skills. As my friend told you that in supply chain, in indirect tax, you need to know the tax flows to the customer. This is how the supply chain was there earlier before 2017. How a raw material supplier, this is about goods. Service industry will come at the fag end. Raw material supplier, goods coming to raw material, packing material, goods going into manufacturing factory, from factory to distributor, foreign supplier sending it, import into India, depot. After the finished goods have been prepared, a job worker is there who will do some portion of the job. The goods are distributed, and ultimately the stockist, retailer, and the consumer who buys the goods. Now, this is how all the different taxes were there, and there were cascading effect, tax on tax, which GST tried to address. And today what we see is a very simplified, only one tax combination, which is CGST, SGST, central government GST, state government GST, and wherever there are between the two state IGST, integrated GST. But understanding this whole supply chain from raw material to the final consumer in any business will help you to understand the transaction, the implication of tax on it, and who is going to bear the tax. Because businesses are just pass through. Businesses don't pay tax. If business is a consumer, then business pays the tax and it can't pass on, but it becomes part of your cost. But a business is always a pass through. It has to collect, it has to take the credit of the tax what they pay, and output tax they have to pay after deducting the input tax credit. So this is how it is. You should be able to understand this supply chain. Now let's look at tech opportunity. What is happening? What is happening in India is robotic process automation. Wherever manual works are being done, businesses are trying to convert that into bots. What are bots? Bots are a small programs, not a very big, huge software, but a small programs which help you to convert a process, manual process, a repetitive work which you are doing again and again, which a software can do it for you. Now, this is where the whole change is coming up. Large companies have huge softwares. They are working on it. MSME, 70% of the India is MSME, and they need lot of such kind of technology tools for them. And this is the biggest area where the young talent of today's India can create their expertise and work with the client. Now, how does a bot work? The bot is working in the process that you need to know the process flow. What is the process? How a human being is doing a particular job. That process flow needs to be written, the validation, where the human being is controlling, doing the checks. So these rules have to be written. Then you have to say what is the input on which the processing is being done, whether it's an Excel file, whether XYZ, on which some work is being carried out, and what is the output. This has to be defined. You need to be very clear on it. Then you use a program code. R is a language, Python is a language, JavaScript is a language. Python is very easy. People say R is statistical language used in numbers. Python is also a very good language where one can learn at a very young age. If you are able to do your own small bots, you have a big, way ahead a career of doing things faster than what a business requires. Then you put it on a web-based platform or a standalone PC and the repository. That means repository means whatever you have done, on what work you have done, you need to be able to retrieve. And this is the biggest thing. In indirect tax, government comes after 3 years, 4 years for audit and assessment. You should be able to retrieve the data which you have worked upon for filing your returns, filing your number, paying your tax liabilities. So this is a very big need of the time, understanding the process flow, the sample data, programming technology. You can team up with a tech company, platform where it will, knowledge about the platform, how it will work, and the repository. That whatever I have worked upon, I should be able to retrieve that. Retrieval of the basic data is the key thing. So obviously, why a solution is needed? If there is a pain, there is a solution required. If there is no pain, no solution required. So what is it? Today there is a lot of why a lot of time and effort. Earlier we used to do small transactions. The company size were very small. If you see today mutual fund industry, every month 26,000, 30,000 crore going as a SIP. Now when we started doing indirect tax, Reliance Mutual Fund at that time was 23,000 crore AUM. But now 23,000 crore is 1 month SIP. After 21 years, when I was doing mutual fund in 2004, it was the whole AUM was 23,000 crore they were managing. And today when I am doing 2025 Nippon India, which has got converted into Nippon, it is few lakhs of crores and 23,000, 26,000 crore SIPs per month in India. So after 20 years, this is going to be a very huge numbers. So this nature of volumes of transaction is a pain area, cannot be handled by manual. Numerous reconciliations, because so many stakeholders are there. Some data come from here, some data come here. Purchase is separate, receivable is separate, payment is separate. One needs to correlate all this data. Limitation challenges, limitations of ASP, GSP, who put up the number. They put standard numbers. No businesses use standard numbers. Repository of data retrieval, as I said. Multiple sources, multiple data forms. Analysis and modification. Now, this is one of the biggest area where the data analysis, whatever a business is generating a data, it needs to be analyzed for arriving at decision making. If you are an expert in understanding an industry, you will be able to pick up. This is like a pathology lab. Once a pathology lab gives a report, the numbers don't indicate that your body has some problem. So data analytics is so critical when you work on GST. See what is GST? GST is on every transaction that you do in a company on a daily basis. There is a GST on that. So that means you are not sitting like income tax that whole year I have earned 20 lakh rupees and on 20 lakh rupees I have to pay 30% tax. It's not like that. GST is on every day you do selling, every day you do purchase, every day you do selling, every day you purchase, and on every transaction there is a GST. So when your transactional numbers are analyzed, you will be able to reflect what has gone wrong. Yeah, where I feel these numbers are not right. That is where you need to do. Human intervention, human effort, friends. Where first we are agriculture economy, from agriculture we moved to industrial. We said, oh, everything is becoming automated. But what happened? Nobody went out of business. The requirement grew because the more you grow industrial, you require more skill. From industrial, you went to technological advance. Now, technological advance require more brain, more skills to understand what is happening automatically. Any change, we need not fear. We have to see it's an opportunity. If any time if you feel in life there is a challenge or there is something tough or there is something which I don't understand that as an opportunity. Don't get fear about it. Don't feel, arey, what I will do. Life mein problem ho gaya. No. Problems are always an opportunity. In that problem, there is a solution. You should have a trait or habit in your mind should be cultivated to think positive. अरे ये problem है तो इसका solution क्या है? Your mind always should be focusing on solution because If you every day keep on crying problems to your boss or to your junior, he will say, boss, you give a solution. If you what you are doing, if I have to do it, I don't you in my company. So if you are solution oriented, if you take solutions option to your boss, your organization, your team, of your colleagues or your family, people will appreciate you that, oh, this person always comes with some positive solution. And because solutions take you forward and we have to move forward in life. So possibly, all tech focuses on following kinds of solution, reduces manual error, return filing process, whatever you are doing. Today, income tax return, if you see earlier, you have to go to a CA, you used to fill up manually, you used to submit, go and get it stamped before your due date. Now everything you file it online and in within few seconds, within few days, within few number of period, you get your assessment acknowledgement that your return has been assessed. So today, no human beings are assessing the return. It is technology where parameters have been put in that following return, following data with us as a government, it is matching, the return is processed. They don't come and see everything manually. Only where there is a doubt, where there are parameters where it is diversifying, divergence from their rule, it is showing. Streamline data workflow, the automation will streamline everything. Flexible design, you will be able to, bots can be flexible, can be changed overnight. If you have a SAP, Oracle, those big programs take huge time to change. But if it's a very long-term change which is required, company will invest in SAP and do those changes. Quick processing time, saving a lot of, because when you save time, you are able to think. When you are able to think, you are able to think, bring solution or new ideas. So all these problems which are today being done manually, manual error, or we take a lot of time, there are solutions, and these are all tech solutions which can be put into the place. So how does a bot work? How does a RPA is designed? The RPA has a 4-step design. One is data connector. That whatever your data is there, whether it's in Excel or whether it is in any XYZ format from which your data is coming, on which you have to work. So there is a data connector. Data connector is a first phase where it will pick up the base data on which a human being is working. So instead of human being, the program will go and fetch those files. And this connector will start integrating those files. Say, assuming you have got multiple incomes and multiple incomes are in different softwares. So all those software will give 5-10 files. So you have to consolidate those income. Earlier, human beings used to do it, not machine will consolidate. Now, but what you have consolidated, you have to validate whether it is correct or not. So then there is a data validation engine. The next step in the program is, it is validating the data, whether what I have integrated, koi pe error to nahi hai. Whether my all GLs are matching with my trial balance. So you need to have controls also. You have to see that what process has been done, what manual controls you are doing, you have to do a software controls also. So data validation engine is something which validates the data, that whatever the past step has happened is correct or not. After these 2 steps, you have a processing algorithm that, okay, now what is the output that I want? I want to have exempt income. I want to have taxable income. I want to have GST rate verified. I want to verify GST number. So processing algorithm does all the process what you as a human being were doing it. And then the output file. Once the processing is been done, it is an output generator. The beauty of the bot is you will know the file on which it has worked. Normally, we all human beings, we keep on storing files at different locations. Something is stored on desktop, something is stored on one folder, something next time after 1 month we work, we forget that which folder we had saved last file. So we create another folder. And after 2-3 years, we want to pull out that file. We have to go and search and we don't get it. And in a company, there are always people who keep on changing. Now the boss does not know. Boss knows there is somewhere the file is there. So he will tell his junior. His junior does not know where is that file. So the output generator in bot will always have a structured way of storing the data. And in this stored data, you can always retrieve the file. So friends, what RPA in whatever manual you are doing, it's a beautiful thing. You should all be aware of how it happens, how it works. So thank you so much. I think so. I was told to talk for 45 minutes, 15 minutes for Q&A. So I am happy to, answer any questions. Probably this presentation Purva will share with all of you. And at a later stage, I have not kept my email ID in that, but always Purva can add my email ID. And later on, if you have any questions for a professional or career guidance, I am always available to my professional colleague friends. Yeah, Purva, we can open it for any questions.
Thank you, sir. First of all, thanks a lot for such an insight session. Anybody have any type of any questions, they can come forward, they can ask. And like in indirect tax, sir is one of the pioneer person. And in fact, if Anil Sharma sir is there, so anybody who is looking for an articleship opportunity or into indirect tax, so sir is always there available to guide the people. So we had this earlier. We started with a question like Jay Patel has raised his hand. Jay, can you unmute yourself, please?
Hello, sir. Good morning.
Good morning, Jay. Can you introduce yourself, please?
I'm a chartered accountant, and I'm working with a fintech company currently as a manager of accounts and finance. But I do try to stay in touch with CA people who are practicing CA so that my knowledge stays updated. So my question is, sir, which software is really user friendly for indirect taxation, cloud based, and it also supports direct taxation because it becomes very much hectic to use different softwares. So
Yeah.
any very user friendly with knowledge base, people suggested me ClearText, but ClearText gives too much of data. So वहाँ पे भी जाके फिर as a professional थोड़ा segregate करना पड़ता है. So any really user friendly software that you might suggest for regular use?
See, Jay, I would always suggest, in market is too much crowded today with lot of people coming up with new ideas, new software, and recommending a name. It would be like similar to giving you a clear text name because we need to understand what you also your assessment will go based on your business transactions or what is the volume, what is the size, what is the complexity in your data gathering, right? So I
Yes,
understand
sir.
ClearText is a very big program or working with large companies. So I would always suggest that look at a program solution where you don't keep on incurring big cost again and again, and which solves your some small problem because your business is going to grow tomorrow to the next level. So a software which is made to order for you, which is like a bot, which solves your problem, gives you an output format because ultimately what you want an output is always defined. So I would not be able to suggest to you a name of a software because your business transactions and all that will require an understanding for you to assess which software is there. But I would always say the methodology is to have a software or some solution which is help you to not incur a big cost when you have to change it because your business dynamics will change.
Thank you, sir.
I would like to ask you, Robin is there. Robin, please.
Yeah. Uh, Good morning, everyone.
Good morning.
Ashutosh ji, one small basic query. We all have been listening to the term tax technology, which has been heard after the GST introduction, and a lot of people are into this practice. So I want to know, okay, how is this functioning? Tax technology, we are using several tools right now.
Correct.
several in the market. We have clear tax, we have
Correct.
other softwares with the other providers.
Correct.
So how can we contribute to that, and what is that we can do,
Correct.
because we are just users of this technology,
Correct.
and how can we get the benefit, or how can we enhance our experience or knowledge and enter this field?
Correct. That's a very adept question, very right question. And friends, that is what I recommend to everybody. At the age of 52, I also keep on challenging my chair
Hmm.
that should I go home and retire, or should I adopt the technology and be with my young guys for next 20 years?
Correct.
So,
Correct.
so,
So,
so, friend, what is ClearText or what is Signet or
hmm.
any other software company? What they are doing is they are learning what we are learning. They are learning the law.
Hmm.
They are putting the law in a particular language. Okay, bhai, this law requires following numbers, and I have to capture this number and give it to the government.
Hmm.
We are the first person who understand the flow better than them.
Hmm.
So we need to create from our side a technology partner with us. Like what I have done is I have taken a technology partner with me. So we are technical expert.
Hmm.
I have a technology partner who converts my technical understanding into a Python language.
Okay.
So what ClearText is doing and understanding the law, I am trying, no, I am not going and investing and learning Python, but I am taking my tech partner and saying that this is the transaction I understand, this transaction, this is the standard thing, this is the input, this is the rule-based learning what you have to put in, and this is the output what I want.
Hmm.
The tech guy doesn't have to understand the law. He has to write it and show you that your input processing and output is working. So, friend, you will have to learn how to deal with a tech guy.
Okay.
You will have to convert your knowledge to translate it to explain it to tech guy. Well, this is how, like say, I will tell you, if there is a building construction happening.
Hmm.
Now, do you feel the labor knows what is the building going to be output like? It is the architect who knows, right?
Correct.
Architect is the person who has designed the building before even the building has come on the land.
Hmm.
And he has visualized that my design, this will be the output. Now only the labor has to go and mix the cement, the steel, and put it across and create the structure. So friend, you are the brain. If you want to use technology, learn the architectural format of that. मेरे client में ये transaction है, ये transaction से number निकलता है, ये मेरे को automate करना है. How do I explain to this tech guy? Boss, you come become my partner. Take a one-time fees. Give me this solution. Your things become faster. So you can compete ClearText, you can compete Signet. Boss, nobody is permanent in this world. You have to come out of your office and go out and understand the client format and partner, invest in some technology partner. Bus, you come with me as a partner and we will do this. बैठे
Okay.
कुर्सी पे बैठे रहेंगे तो कुछ नहीं होगा ना सर, अपने को तो बाहर जाना पड़ेगा.
Yeah, definitely, sir.
And your
So it is
question is
basic.
100% right. Because you have the technical knowledge, your output will be superior to ClearText or Signet. कौन रहता है सर कंपटीशन में कितने टाइम तक, किसको कुछ पता नहीं है.
Yes, sir.
Robin,
So
you're based out.
basically, sir, it is like text technology. You are creating your own tools and not relying on the existing marketplace, what they are delivering. Going beyond them, or maybe suitable to your specific clients,
Sir,
if you can
after
do something.
your client is not going to go away from you. If you are adding value to him, why will he go to somebody else?
Absolutely, sir. Thank you.
If
Thank you. That
somebody
was it.
if somebody comes and say I am offering this, and your client says, boss, my Rovin Kotari, my professional friend already is doing it for me.
Hmm.
Why should I pay you money for it? Because he's been there with me in tax for so many years. He understands my tax. ClearText does not come and understand your transaction. They only offer standard tools on which your data needs to be put in.
Okay. Thank you, sir.
Welcome.
One more person is there. Can you unmute yourself, Sindhu Tilraj?
Yeah, good morning, sir.
Good morning. Can you just
Okay.
brief me about yourself? आपका
Yeah,
introduce कर सकते हो?
yeah. Actually, I'm a qualified CMA by the June 2025. I'm
Okay.
just looking for some advice that I'm experienced in GST department, like handling GST notices and appeals and GST monthly filing. In that, my 15 months articleship is fully for GST department only I have done in an audit office. So I'm just thinking by next year tribunal is going to be launched. So it is a good idea that I can go in GST department for handling GST litigation side. Is it good idea?
Yeah, yeah. If I have understood your question correctly, litigation is a practice. It's a good opportunity. I have not covered over here much about litigation because what I wanted to emphasize was too much of technology is being spoken about, but simultaneously, along with technology, litigation is also a big space. And the existing big law firms or anybody in the market would have his plate full more than that, and client will really require individuals like all of us to give a larger span of attention. When you give your larger span of attention, because client wants somebody to listen, and when we listen, we solve the problem. So again, litigation is a good space. If you have that art of dealing with litigation, and I think so, it's a good space.
Okay, thank you.
Anyone else? They can write down their question if somebody has. All of them. So I would like to know, because we as a recruiter for perspective, what are the things which make you a cutting edge when you interview a person? What are the things you look into?
See, the first thing that we look into is how the person is truthfully talking his capabilities. What we value more is if somebody person does not know, it's okay if he does not know, but he should tell he does not know. Because the companies are there to pass on the skills. It is the individual's ability to have a trait of learning. So when in the interview, we always, when we ask questions, we want an answer with an integrity. Qualification and competency, we will add the skill, we will train. Organizations are there to do all that thing. But at whatever level you are trying to join in, for that what skill is required, you should have acquired that skill. And that skill you should be able to say. You should not say you have never done it and you say I am doing it. By being an assistant manager, you can't say I have been doing manager's role and I am applying for manager, but you have never done a manager role. So somewhere a pullback happens later on, either in interview or in the organization, that whatever you have done, by working as an SMA assistant manager, but you have worked as a manager, वो interview में दिख जाता है. Because the other side of the person is actually doing hundreds of interview daily basis. We can't fool an interviewer because he's there since 30 years of experience. Every day is seeing candidate. Candidate may feel I am alone one. But the other side is every day is scanning 100 people.
And that's what I want to make people know. What the person sitting other side of the table knows very well.
In India, we normally shy away from telling people I don't know. We should learn the art of telling no. If we have not done it, we should say no. I have not done it. I don't know, but I can learn. When you frankly tell in the interview process, I don't know and I learn, people respect you more. छुपाना नहीं चाहिए. इंडिया में अपने को छुपाते बहुत है. छुपाना नहीं चाहिए. Like a multinational foreign, I don't know, I will learn it. I know how to learn it. Right? I hope I answered Purva your question.
Yeah, no, sir, it's very important. Thank you very much. I think time is also over. So I would like to thank you, sir, on behalf of everyone taking such a good time for us and giving us such a good presentation. I'll share across this presentation, and anybody who wants to get connected with us, because as Sir says, connection, contacts are very important if you want to grow, if you want to move ahead. Sir is available on LinkedIn. I myself is available on LinkedIn. Sir is like always available to help everybody, to answer every kind of a question. If you want to build your practice, you want to be prepared for interview, everything is available. You can connect us through our LinkedIn profile, and we are happy to connect with everybody. Thank you each and every one also who attended this session. So thank you everybody. Sir, they are asking for your profile on LinkedIn. So it's available in the name of CA Ashutosh Thaker
So
and CA Purva Mittal.
in this presentation, I will add the LinkedIn profile link and email and share it with you, which you can share it with them.
Yeah, sure. You can send across your mail ID also. So I'll share across this thing.
Sure.
Sir will share this on this particular thing. वैसे सर आपकी मेल आईडी है क्या?
I will do it. I will share it. I will share the
I will
email.
share with you. CA Murtuja sir will share with you, so you can take from there.
Sure.
Yeah. Thank you,
Okay.
sir.
Thank
Okay,
you.
he has one question, please. Can you unmute yourself? Yeah, please. Hello.
हाँ पूर्व बोलो.
हाँ सर, बताइए.
हो गया
सर
कंप्लीट.
आप हमारे यहाँ पे बहुत सारे स्टूडेंट्स हैं, उनको भी गाइड कीजिएगा.
है बैठे हैं सामने देख रहे हैं सब लोग.
हाँ. So they are like the new generation who are going to come to Mumbai and do indirect tax. तो सर के हिसाब से I think the key takeaway is कि आप लोग सब टेक्नोलॉजी में भी बहुत एडवांस बनो, बिकॉज हम लोग ये वाली टेक्निकल स्किल्स हैं प्लस टैक्स, मतलब इट्स लाइक फिनटेक काइंड ऑफ अ पर्सन, रोल्स व्हिच आर गोइंग कमिंग अप, उसी में सारा फ्यूचर है. और सर थैंक यू वेरी मच, आपने इतने सारे बच्चे हमारे साथ ज्वाइन करवाए. थैंक्स अ लॉट सर.
Should I close?
या सर, थैंक यू सर. सीए मुर्तुजा, कैन यू प्लीज आस्क योर क्वेश्चन? हेलो. No, we cannot hear you out. He has written. नहीं तो अब आपका क्वेश्चन मुर्तुजा, you can just write down. आपकी वॉइस नहीं आ रही है. He needs something on e-guidance.
No, one-on-one guidance. I will share my mobile number in this PPT. You can call me.
We'll share across. You don't worry. We are there on LinkedIn.
ग्रुप में शेयर कर सकता हूँ, कोई इसमें कोई
अच्छा,
इशू
ठीक
नहीं है.
आप कहाँ से, किस पार्ट ऑफ द कंट्री से आप? कैन यू जस्ट राइट डाउन मुर्तुजा? रतलाम. सर ही फ्रॉम रतलाम एमपी.
ये मेरा मोबाइल नंबर और मेरा ईमेल आईडी दोनों आपके लिए मैंने शेयर.
He migrated from Dubai.
आपको मैंने मेरा मोबाइल नंबर और ईमेल आईडी दोनों दिए.
ओके, ठीक है. चलिए सर, वी थैंक्स ऑन दिस पर्टिकुलर नोट. थैंक यू एवरीबॉडी.
Sure. Thank you so much for inviting. Bye bye.
बाय सर.